Good morning. I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts, candidate for the United States House of Representatives for the 11th District of Ohio. And as I stated in the other conversation with you most recently, there's a song that said, "To the wire, to the limit, to the wall." Well, time is running out and voting has begun. Remember to vote for me for this 2018 election. I am a candidate. Here's my candidate information number. And I want to bring some to your attention and remembrance on some of the issues. When Trayvon Martin was gunned down, they came up with a law called Stand Your Ground to promote more racism. And now secretly in a deceitful way, they're still trying to implement that law. Only this time they come from the lower levels to the upper levels, and they just passed a law in public transportation 101 and 102 for 2018, which supports that. Because the people who are incarcerated are people of color. They're not blonde. They're not blonde people. They're not the white supremacists that try to rule this country. And that is not all blonde people, so don't get that twisted, okay? But it is a racist agenda. It starts on a local level and it escalates to another level, because Cuyahoga County, Ohio, passed Resolution 2017-216 based upon the laws of 1800. The laws of 1800 were when they were selling slaves on public square in Cleveland, Ohio, under the pro-slavery amendment, also known as the Corwin Amendment, also known as the Ghost Amendment, which is inside of the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution. The laws of 1800 also did not give women equal opportunities under the law. The laws of 1800, and this was stated in the December 5th, 2017 meeting when the police chief of Fairview Park, Ohio, spoke, and the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, sponsored this law, with Cuyahoga County Council passing the laws of 1800, where 2 cameras per community would be put up throughout Cuyahoga County, targeting people who have been incarcerated, as well as specialized license plates for those who have been incarcerated to be targeted for more abuse. Some call it double jeopardy, but we know it's more than that, because the people who are incarcerated are people of color and women. So we know that that's not a good decision that the Cuyahoga County Council in full made on December the 5th, 2017. Also, in 2018, Cuyahoga County Council Resolution 2018-32, all of the cities in Cuyahoga County were granted money for community development, except for the communities who have mayors who have color in their skin that are not considered to be white or Seleucid. The mayor of Warrensville Heights, Ohio, did not get that money. Maple Heights did not get that money, who had not only have a mayor who has color in their skin, but they have a mayor who's a female with color in her skin. The mayor of East Cleveland, Ohio, did not get that money for community development. And the mayor of Cleveland, Ohio, Mayor Frank G. Jackson, for which I was the chairperson for the religious affairs for his reelection, did not get any of that money. And Council President Dan Brady, with the agreement of the full Cuyahoga County Council, stated that the city of Cleveland did not want money for community development. When I challenged that, I was assaulted and threatened by Dan Brady, as well as Cuyahoga County Council and sheriff's deputies. And not all of the deputies are bad. After all, my cousin is the sheriff, and I'm sure he doesn't concur with this type of behavior. And they're also passing written false documents about me, having people sign off in a hurry to try to help people win this election. They did it on April the 5th of this year. when my rights being violated again as a heterosexual female and being discriminated against because I'm not gay or homosexual or lesbian, however you want to use whatever terminology, when a gay man has been given more rights than me as a heterosexual female to protect and provide for my children as well as myself. And County Executive Armin Budish and his assistant Laura Roach have done nothing to correct this. Instead, I'm going back to December 5th, 2017. I was so assaulted and surrounded by deputies on that day as the police chief of Fairview Park stood over me and asked me, do my grandchildren have license plates, as I was putting my shoes on. I called 911 to be able to get out of the building because when I speak, they have deputies come and surround me and threaten me and harass me. And this happened to me again on April the 5th. I was having a conversation with the Director of Health and Human Services, David Merriman, when some woman who keeps bothering me went and got the deputies and told them I was causing a disturbance. I don't know what she told them exactly. I know they came and lined up to threaten me. I called 911 and community activist Donna Walker Brown came over and asked me, Reverend Pinckney, what's going on? They lied and wrote down a document stating something about me that wasn't true, and then put the wrong phone number on the document with Chief George Taylor signing off on it from the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department. Then banned me from the administration building, telling me unless I have something that they feel is important, I'm not welcomed in that building anymore. And if I don't remove myself, they would lock me up. Another lesbian agenda under which Marsha Fudge and Sherrod Brown have in place, and Nikki Antonio and some of these other ones. Because the incarceration processes, that's all it is a homosexuality agenda, as well as other agendas. And if that's what people do, that's what they do. That's not what I'm into. The laws of 1800, where the lives of people of color have been a marketplace. And it's unfortunate because we know when we've seen the old movies that the people of color were sold out by the people of color because there was money involved in it. And this includes you, Beverly Goldston, the woman who's running also for this seat. You don't have enough money to pay for the damages you all have done. Because on October the 10th, 2002, I was held captive while my babies were stolen with a civil protection order in place. And I guess the civil protection order was done so I could be monitored and marketed and terrorized more, because it didn't get enforced the way it was supposed to be operating in the capacity for my rights as well as the lives of my children and me. So I want you all to consider these matters, because when Tamir Rice was gunned down and his sister was beat up, because we don't hear any more about her being violated because it's mostly a focus on male agenda. That went away. When the 14-year-old boy was gunned down by the white police officer, Mayor Frank Jackson got sued for reverse discrimination instead of this officer being disciplined to the letter of the law. When Timothy Russell and Melissa Williams were gunned down through multiple jurisdictions on a schoolyard in a predominantly black community, Mayor Frank G. Jackson got sued for reverse discrimination, and the police officers walked. When Tanisha Anderson was murdered because she was vocal and she was saying something people didn't want to hear, and a call was made to lock her up in the psych ward for expressing her thoughts, and she was gunned down and murdered. She was murdered and tased by the police. That went away. See, it didn't go away. And I'm a bit bothered that the leadership is not questioning this, and everywhere I go, I get silenced. I am a candidate for this United States House of Representatives for the 11th District of Ohio because I don't like what I see, and I don't like what's being represented. And I don't like the fact that the church's mouth is closed and the ones whose mouths are open are going under further persecution, including our churches being broken into and violated in other ways. I don't care for that. And as your representative, I shall address that. I'm not going to tell you I plan to address it. I am going to address it. I am going to address and correct the operation of the Department of Health and Human Services, Children and Family Services, as well as law enforcement agencies. I am going to address the academic setting. Anytime the United States Department of Education is the key funding for the Department of Incarceration, I'll just put it like that, implementing mass incarceration, and we know it's women and people who are non-white. Any time that's the order of the day, at any time a mayor who has color in his skin gets sued for reverse discrimination with the law director welcoming it to happen, not blocking it, and she had the control to do so because she told me personally she was blocking me from filing my matters in the courts. So if she can block me, she can stop the mayor from being sued too. I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts. I would really love to have your vote and your support. I don't promote racism and I don't condone it. Neither do I condone the deceit that's been taking place on the lives of the people. Neither do I condone the mockery that's being made of the system of justice and equality here in the United States of America. Anytime these people put a man in Washington, D.C. that blatantly states that he violates women and goes into our private parts, and then they give him access to our cell phones, there's something wrong here. See, I've had to deal with this 16 years later. The Department of Children and Family Services turned my children into criminal history as well as chemical dependency because they were told not to put drugs in my children's bodies, and they put them in there anyway. And tried to make a drug addict out of me, had me held down and shot up drugs inside of my body. But I'm still here. Oh, but for grace, I'm still here. I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts. Please remember to vote for me. And I'm very disappointed in Congresswoman Marshall Fudge as well as Judge Allison Nelson Floyd, who were supposed to be the godparents of two of my children, who went against me. What, for some money in your pocket? And you hurt my children and my grandchildren. I forgive you. It is what it is. But I wouldn't let you have any responsibility over anything and anyone pertaining to me. As for you, James Jerome Bell, we've had our discussion at the candidate night the other day. Yes, God's name is Jehovah in Psalm 83 and 18. Yes, that says that. Yet at the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that he's King of Kings and that he's Lord of Lords. And I send a shout out to my pastors, Doctors Robert and Michelle Moore. When you saw that in Genesis about the EWE, that wasn't a mistake. When male and female have been separated, it didn't mean that we were to conquer one another or be at odds with one another. It meant that we have responsibility, obligation to one another, to assist one another. I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts, candidate for the United States House of Representatives for the 2018 election. I'm very disappointed in many people, but I'm very blessed by so many others. I'm the daughter of Charles E. Jackson Pinckney and Dr. Betty K. Butts Pinckney, attorney at law. I'm the granddaughter of Emmett Maceo Butts and Naomi Inez Yates Butts. Theodore Roosevelt Pinckney and Mildred Jackson Pinckney, and as well as Martha Jackson Pinckney. And I can go on and on. I love you all, but we got to get this right around here, you all. My candidate number is, I believe it's HHOH11299, and my committee ID is C00661546. And I want to thank the young man Justin Anderson for everything he's done to help me, and I appreciate you, Justin. I really do. And I want to thank Deacon Lee Adams for welcoming me as the co-hostess on his radio broadcast. Call in too, 1216-578-1490 on Fridays, AM 1490 WERE. I am co-hostess on that broadcast, and I have been for some time now. 1216-578-1490. I thank you, Mayor and Mrs. Jackson, Mayor Frank G. and Mrs. Edwina Jackson, for the sacrifices you have made for the lives of the people and protecting the integrity of the city of Cleveland, as well as the people and the components that are impacted by it. You all be blessed today, and remember to vote for me. My phone number is 1216-548-0820. That's my campaign phone line. I am a licensed ordained preacher. I'm the clergy chairperson for Black on Black Crime Incorporated, where the president is Mr. Alfred Porter Jr. And you all be blessed and have a great day. Thank you for your vote, and thank you for your support.